Hello, welcome back, boys and girls. Today's story is called Where's Santa's Cat, written by Ferries. Now, in this remarkable story, Santa is unable to find his cat. Do you think he will find her in the Enchanted Forest? Let's see what happens. Let's get started. Let me tell you what happened one day in the Enchanted Forest. The dark fairy was up to her tricks and a kitten got lost again. And so it began. Santa and the elves were going to the Enchanted Forest to get their Christmas tree. And to make the trip shorter, they went through a magic portal that the pink fairy created. It is a long way from the North Pole to the Enchanted Forest, and on this trip, Iris accompanied Santa. Now, while Santa looked at trees, Iris decided to take a nap, as cats will do. And who do you think appeared? The dark fairy. And she thought it would be fun to trick Iris again. Now, before Iris became Santa's cat, she had lived in the Enchanted Forest, and the dark fairy had tricked her into following her by changing into a blue butterfly. And Iris chased the blue butterfly and wound up in the bottom of a well with amnesia. The blue fairy tells that story, and that's how Iris became Santa's cat. Now let's see what happens today. This time, the dark fairy changed into a blue squirrel. Iris awoke, and the squirrel asked, "What are you doing in the Enchanted Forest, young miss?" And Iris answered, "I came to see 3 little kittens. I can't remember where they live. I do remember playing with them, but I don't remember why. The dark fairy tricked me, and I fell in a well, and I've not seen the kittens for a year." And then the squirrel replied, "Oh, the dark fairy is terrible. Now I can show you the way. Follow me." And Iris did. Now Santa came back and did not see Iris in the spot he left her. And then he called and called and called her name, but she did not come. So he had to go find her. Now where could she be? After leading Iris deep into the forest, the blue squirrel stopped, and she looked at Iris and poof, changed back into the dark fairy. And the fairy laughed, and then she disappeared. She knows Santa will look for Iris, and now she will trick him too. Iris decided to go look for the 3 little kittens' house on her own. And after a long walk, she came to the house of the 3 bears. And she asked the mother bear, "Do you know where 3 little kittens live?" And mother bear said, "Oh, yes, dear. Just follow this path, and you will see a sign at the fork in the road. Now when you get there, take it. I heard the kittens have lost their mittens again, and I've begun to cry." "It seems this happens every day. I hope they find them. Maybe I can help them look. And Iris left and found the sign on the fork in the road. And she took it. Now soon she came to a brick house. And the three little pigs were inside. And then she knocked on the door. And the pigs yelled, "Woof, woof, big bad wolf," and did not come to answer the door. And so she continued down the road and met a cat with a fiddle who was on his way to Bremen town. A cow and a little dog, a dish and a spoon arrived at the same time she did. And Iris asked, "Do you know the way to the house where three little kittens live?" And as he played a tune on his fiddle, the dish and the spoon danced, and the cat replied, "Keep going on this road and you will find the house." When I passed by, they had not found their mittens and they were not happy. It seems this happens every day. Now, as Iris was leaving, the cow jumped over the moon and the little dog laughed. He does that a lot. She hoped to find the kitten's house shortly. And Iris hurried on down the road, and she sang a little song. It's bad for a kitten to lose a mitten. It's bad for a kitten to lose a mitten. And in a bit, she found the house. Now the kittens were outside looking for their mittens so they could have some pie, some blackbird pie. And in the pie are 24 blackbirds. Now this pie is a favorite of old King Cole, and his chef got the recipe from Mother Cat. Meanwhile, Santa was very upset and worried. He knew he had to search the Enchanted Forest for Iris. First, he asked the gingerbread man. And the gingerbread man said the dark fairy changed into a blue squirrel and tricked Iris into following her. And he said they went east. Oh no! So Santa hurried off to find Iris. He hoped she was not in danger. First, he saw Little Red Riding Hood. He asked her if she had seen a white cat, and she said she saw her on the road, but she didn't know which way she went. Maybe south. Well, Santa thanked her and hurried off southbound. And then he came upon a blue fox. He had never seen a blue fox before. Have you? And he hoped the fox could help him. And he asked her if she had seen a little white cat. The fox yawned as she had just woken up and said, "Oh, yes, the little white cat. She went not to Bremen town. She was following a blue squirrel. I was too tired to chase them." And Santa turned and headed north. And after he took a few steps, the fox turned into the dark fairy and laughed and disappeared. She had tricked Santa. And then Santa hurried. He was frantic. Where was Iris? Was she okay? He talked to the three little pigs, and they had not seen her. They told him they had just chased away a white wolf and asked if he had seen any other wolves. And he walked, and then he worried. Where could Iris be? He passed the carnival, and a boy named Simon wanted some pie, but he had not a penny. And everyone was having fun, and Santa was not. Next, he came to a troll bridge, and he began to go across. Stomp, stomp. As he crossed it, the troll jumped up and bellowed, "Who is stomping across my bridge?" Santa, quite surprised, replied, "It is I, Santa Claus." And then the troll laughed. "Ha! You don't look like Santa. Wear your long ears and fluffy white tail. And where's your basket with eggs?" Now Santa was dumbfounded and stuck. What can he do? Now Jack Frost was in the Enchanted Forest that day, changing the color of the leaves, and the green became beautiful fairy shades of red and gold and orange. He was almost to the troll bridge. Now Jack arrives and sees Santa's dilemma. The troll will not let him pass, and Jack tells Santa, "I can take care of this troll. What do you think he will do?" And Jack uses his frost to freeze the troll. And then he says, "Don't worry, Santa. The troll will thaw soon. You can cross the bridge now." And Santa thanks Jack and says, "This Christmas, only coal for the troll." And Jack laughs and goes back to changing the color of the leaves. Now Santa crossed the bridge and met the billy goat's gruff, and they said they had not seen Iris. Santa was becoming more worried by the minute. Peter Pan and Tinkerbell said she went east, and they heard her singing something about kittens and mittens. So Santa hurried off to the east. Tinkerbell had wanted to ask Santa about her sisters, the sugar plum fairies, but she understood that he was too worried about Iris. Now soon, he arrived at the house of the 7 dwarfs. In the distance, you could hear 7 voices singing, "Hi-ho, hi-ho." And Snow White was in the yard singing to the birds. Now she loves to sing. And she said, "Excuse me, I don't think we've met. I'm Snow White. Who are you?" "Santa, Santa Claus," replied Santa. And then Snow White said, "Oh, you and a bunch of elves moved to the North Pole before time began. How is it up there?" Now obviously, Snow White liked to chat. "Have you seen a little white cat?" asked Santa hurriedly. Now Snow White said she did. She saw a cat and she thinks it was white, but she was busy talking to an old woman with apples. And she asked if Santa would like the apple that the woman gave her. She hadn't eaten it yet. And he said, "Oh, no, thank you." Did you see which way the cat went? Now Snow White said she thinks the cat went north, but it may have gone south. What a mess! Will Santa ever find her? So Santa called and called, Iris, 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 Iris. She did not come. He does not know that by now she is safe at the three kittens' house. Now the kitten stared at Iris, and the orange kitten said, "You look familiar." And then the yellow kitten agreed, "Oh yes, you do look familiar. Did you pass by earlier playing the fiddle?" And Iris said, "No, you've mistaken me for the cat that is going to Brementown." And then the gray kitten said, "Well, we've lost our mittens. Can you help us find them?" And Iris replied, "I'd be happy to." And she vaguely remembered having mittens a long time ago. And then they searched high and low and I. And finally, they found the mittens and went into the house. Now, Mother was very happy that they found their mittens, and then she noticed Iris, and she cried, "My baby, where have you been? We searched and searched for you when you disappeared." And Iris told the story about the dark fairy and the butterfly she followed, and how she came to live with Santa. Now Iris and the three kittens remembered they were all family, and they hugged and purred a loud, happy purr. What a wonderful day this is. Now Mother gave them all blackbird pie for finding the mittens. Cats love blackbird pie. And Mother said, "Tell me, dear, are you happy living with Santa?" And Iris said, "Oh, yes, Mother. He and Mrs. Claus are very kind to me." And Mother replied, "I miss you so, but I'm very happy for you." Now the gray kitten said, "Mother, can we go live with Santa too?" And Mother replied, "Oh, not now. Someday you will leave home and find a place to live, but not yet." Now after finishing the pie and playing kitten games for a bit, Iris said she needed to get back to Santa because he would be worried. And Mother agreed and said she understood. And they all hugged, and Iris headed back to the gingerbread man's house. She promised to come visit every year when Santa came to the Enchanted Forest to get a Christmas tree. And she still keeps that promise to this day. Now Santa was talking to the cat with the fiddle when Iris came upon them. And then he yelled, "Iris!" And she ran and jumped into his arms. He was so happy. And Iris promised that she would never follow a blue squirrel again. And the cat began to play merry jig, and Santa danced with joy. And Iris said, "You are a very fine fiddler indeed." The end. Wow, what a wonderful, wonderful story I'm so glad they finally found each other. Thank you for joining us for this wonderful story time, boys and girls. We thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you soon.